The picture you're looking at was taken 41 years ago, on September 21st, 1980, when my parents took me to St. Michael's Catholic Church in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I was baptized. Now you might say that a journey began that day. A journey really which has brought me to this point where I'm sitting in this chair, in this room, talking to all of you. Now this journey has had ups and downs. It would be a lie for me to say that from that time forward, I had this deep, profound, vibrant faith. The reality is, there were a number of years when I was a kid when church was the last thing I wanted to do. I'd rather sleep in or play video games or build Lego or do any other number of things, not go to church. But that changed for me when I was 14 years old, when my church hired a youth minister for the first time. And I would say that I owe a lot to Tracy, and I owe a lot to the experience of being in her youth group. I met some of my dearest friends during those years. It's the reason why I learned how to play the guitar in the first place. And a conference that I first volunteered at while part of Tracy's youth group, this was the place where eventually as an adult, I would meet my wife for the first time. But probably the single most significant thing that happened to me during my years in her youth group was that I met Jesus. Now, I knew about Jesus. I'd heard lots of stories about Jesus, grew up in a Catholic school, went to church all the time. But to me, in a lot of ways, he was just another character in another story. What happened for me in those teenage years in high school was that Jesus came off the page for me. He became a real person that I could know, that I could talk to every day. And as such, my faith in him has become the defining aspect, the defining part of my life that really steers everything else. It's the reason I got into youth ministry in 1997. It's the reason why I worked as a parish youth minister for a while, and it's the reason why now I serve you as chaplain in Evergreen Catholic Schools. Now this leads us to the topic of this particular video. What is a chaplain? Now if you're going to look up a dictionary definition of what it means to be a chaplain, you'd read that a chaplain is someone who does ministry in a specialized setting. That setting might be schools or prisons or hospitals or something like that. For me, my specialized ministry is to the 10 schools that make up Evergreen Catholic. So if you want a real simple version, what is a chaplain? Well, as a chaplain, I am serving you in a specialized setting in your schools, trying to serve God, trying to keep you connected to the church, and trying to help you understand better the teachings of Christ. Now, what does that look like? Well, it looks like me coming into your classroom and offering a presentation of some sort, some reflection, some thoughts for you guys, some food for thought of some sort. It often takes the shape of day-long or overnight retreats, depending on what grade you're in, where we get to go and play and pray and have some really great conversations. It means that I pray for you all the time, whether you know that or not. And it means that, probably my favorite part about this job, I get to have a lot of one-on-one conversations, sometimes by email and virtually, and sometimes in person, where you guys ask me some really profound questions. And I get to help you journey along the way and discover the truth, the beauty, and the goodness of God's love for you and the Catholic faith. Now, all of this comes from that moment in September of 1980 when I was baptized, because that was the moment that seeds of faith, seeds of hope were planted in my life. And they wouldn't sprout until I became a teenager. And I believe firmly, fundamentally, that you all have seeds of faith as well. That God has planted these seeds of faith, these seeds of hope in your hearts. Maybe when you were baptized, or if you weren't baptized, maybe through your encounters with a priest, with a teacher in a Catholic school, with a grandparent, with somebody else. However they got there, what I'm hoping I can do is help you see some growth in your own life. Help you come to see that Jesus is a person that you can know. Somebody who cares for you deeply. Somebody who wants tremendously great things for you. I look forward to the opportunities this year that we'll have to interact with one another like this, in class, on retreat. And in particular, the conversations that I look forward to having with many of you over the course of the year. If there's ever anything I can do for you, any way I can pray for you, or any other question I can answer for you, or way I can support you, please reach out to me. If not, look forward to seeing you in class. God bless you all.